Good morning! Good morning from the aerial camp. This is day 4, and yeah, just wanted to tune in with today's reflection. So I didn't sleep well last night. Yeah, I just kept waking up and couldn't get comfortable and kind of annoying stuff. And yeah, I've kind of been reflecting on like some of the discomforts. You know, harnessed in 24/7, needing to do business in buckets and bottles, having very limited space, and yeah, that kind of brings me to one of the reasons I'm here, which is privilege. I'm here because I have privilege. I also have white privilege. I'm at risk of being arrested, but because I'm a white female, I'm not that worried. I know that if I was a person of color, I would probably be really worried. That said, this kind of scenario is pretty exceptional. Just if I put myself in the shoes of an Indigenous person, a person of color, yeah, walking down the street, getting on the SkyTrain, going into a store, it's a completely different world. And yeah, and I just want to reflect on the role that this pipeline, the Trans Mountain expansion, actually plays within the context of white supremacy. Yeah, I know it's not the kind of thing that I like thinking about. But yeah, these are important thoughts, and you know, the murder of George Floyd has opened up a great awareness to the systemic racism of certainly Turtle Island. You know, North America is just built on it. Absolutely built on it. And we white settlers who have been the privileged from the start, you know, we're living on stolen native land and don't even think about it, don't even know it. Well, it's all kind of come to the fore now, and I think it's really good medicine for us, for all of us. So yeah, I just wanted to connect the dots a bit on how this pipeline is an act of white supremacy. The whole process has been nested in the colonial model, which is, you know, what we call Canada, or what many of us call Canada. It's this, you know, parliamentary model of elite, wealthy, white, usually men, who make all these decisions, and they also make all the money. And they have used a lot of violence. So this model has expropriated Indigenous people from their lands in very brutal ways. And this pipeline is just one more example, and that's why I just feel like enough is enough, you know? Like, haven't we, you know, okay, so 2008, Canada and the Indigenous community of Canada initiated the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Wow, you know? Truth and reconciliation around the residential school system, which has just had such a shattering effect on those communities. The continued violence, you know, the incarceration. So many people of color are in our prisons. And as we've seen, you know, thanks to social media and like phones on, cameras on phones, we're seeing just the extent that systemic racism, like police officers, do they even know they're racist? Probably they wouldn't term it that way. They have their own language for it, but it's a whole culture. So Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which would, you know, that's where we have our land acknowledgements, which reminds me I've not done mine yet, and I do want to acknowledge that I'm on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish people. including the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, Coquitlam, Tsawwassen, Stolo, and Katzie. I think that's it. So, with gratitude to all my relations, these people have endured such brutality, and yet they are just these beacons of the Gaia, of Mother Earth, of living in, maybe not in harmony, but certainly living with huge respect for Mother Earth. And there's so much that we can learn from the Indigenous way of being and of seeing. And I know that for myself as a white settler, I aspire to be an ally. So I want to do everything that I can. And so that's part of why I'm up here. That's a big part of why I'm up here. I've had a really great summer so far. COVID-19's really thrown a wrench into my life and plans, but because I have the privilege I have, I've been able to explore the province, swim in lakes and rivers, even lying on beaches. And so when I heard that this was happening, I was just my conscience wasn't letting me. I had one last cycle camping trip with my dear friend Claire up on Sultry Bay, and I knew this is the window. Yes, I can have a nice trip and a wonderful time with my dear friend and, experience phosphorescence of the ocean and all these amazing things, but I was just what? I think I've had enough comfort. I think I need to endure something right now. I need to feel the discomfort that people of color experience. Not in exactly this way, but Indigenous people are the most impoverished group of people in all of Canada. What does that say? So in a way, I know this is a very meager response to that, but if I can stop the pipeline or help stop the pipeline, and just bring more awareness to what it represents in its fullest form. So there's one last thing that I want to say, and as an outcome of the Truth and Reconciliation, and UNDRIP, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, which I should add, BC was the first province in Canada to adopt into legislature in November 2019. Not that we've seen that manifesting in any way different from the colonial past. I'll just point towards the Wet'suwet'en conflict with the Coastal GasLink pipeline, horrible RCMP invasion, brutality, continued terrorism, horrible stuff. It's happening. It's happening now, and it's alive. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge that as we talk about reconciliation, and some people talk about decolonization, a wonderful term that a friend suggested that we use instead, my friend Genevieve, is re-indigenization. So yes, decolonization, but also re-indigenization. How do we re-indigenize how we see and relate to Mother Earth? To the plants, to the birds, to the salmon, to the fish, all the fish, tiny fish, to the insects, wild bees, yeah! There's a deep respect for the web of life, which is inherent in that worldview. There's a very different worldview in the Indigenous worldview, and I think we could all have a lot of benefits from just taking that on board, a little bit at a time, or maybe go the full hog and go for it. So I just wanted to shine some light onto that, this notion of re-indigenization, of addressing the deleterious effects that this pipeline is having and will continue to have on Indigenous people, the issues of man camps, and all the brutality around murdered and missing Indigenous women.